Now, we're physicians by trade, but the biggest job Dr. Sears and I have is really being parents. So when it comes to those hard to make decisions about raising kids, sometimes just the parent in us comes out, other times just the doctor, and sometimes our kids just get a little of both.
Oh, yeah, and our first guest has been battling a decision about her own son's future, and she isn't quite sure what's best for him. Take a look.
I have a 9-year-old son named Joey who has been diagnosed with ADD. I started noticing that he was very hyperactive and not able to focus when he was about 3 years old. I have been given the option to give him medications, but as a mother, I'm very concerned about the safety of these medications. He's a very loving, caring, active little boy, and I don't want to take that away from him. I'm concerned if my son even has ADHD or if he's going to grow out of it, and what kind of natural remedies I can use as an alternative.
Nicole, thank you so much for being here. And we have a lot in common on this subject because I have a child with ADD, and I dealt with a lot of the same concerns that you did with when the diagnosis was made. Do I give medication? Are there other things I can do? But sometimes the scary part is the wondering or the conjecture, the what if. And sometimes what can really help is making a decision on the part with your pediatrician's help, with the part of some good advice, and trying something. And you can always discontinue a medication. I know that when I was in your shoes and I spoke to my child's pediatrician, one of the most important things I learned, and this is where I wasn't a doctor, I was just a mom, is the stimulant class of medication that oftentimes is used to treat ADD, ADHD. These are drugs that have been around for 50 years. They are, in general, very safe. Any medication can be used in a dangerous manner. But for my child, this was literally like flipping a light switch. And it made an enormous,
I love hearing that.
enormous difference. And it's only used at school, right, Jim? Isn't that a lot of times?
And that's a great point. You know, these have been around so long. You hear horror stories on the internet and all that, but as a pediatrician, I do use these a lot, and very rarely ever have any problems. But we do want to make sure we're using them appropriately. You know, a lot of kids are, overdiagnosed with ADD or misdiagnosed, and so, any child that we're considering medication, I do want to make sure we've done a complete, thorough evaluation, with the vision. A lot of kids turn out to be dyslexic, and the medications wouldn't do anything at all for them. Maybe have a hearing problem or some other sort of reading problem. Sometimes it's a nutritional thing. I get a lot of kids, their activity kind of gentles down.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is there anything I can do nutritionally?
Nutritionally, there's a lot.
I've been trying to stay away from the artificial flavors and trying to be as gluten-free as I can. It's really hard with kids.
And that can be tough, but let me make it easier for you. The first thing I go for when kids are acting up a little too much is sugar. I get a lot of kids that the teacher says he's completely a changed child if we just go a couple of weeks of a very low sugar diet. Just go to Whole Foods, have a breakfast of eggs and whole grain toast and things like that instead of a sugary cereal.
Anything that's good for your whole body is always good for the brain.
And then, real quick, omega-3 fatty acids. You've got to get them.
That.
It makes a huge difference on kids with all sorts of those brain problems, whether it's activity or attention, anything like that.
What about the L-theanine? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, L-theanine. It's there's a lot of supplements that are going to be suggested out there. Most of them are not proven. Really, omega-3s are the only ones that have been shown to help.
Wow,
Will you keep us posted?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely, thank you.